Good morning everyone. I'm Kajal and today we are going to discuss the next chapter of the 8th class students. Biology chapter we are going to start reproduction in the plants and the animals. So we are going to discuss your second chapter reproduction in plants and the animals. Reproduction. Now you know that all the living organisms reproduce and after reproduction they are giving birth to their young ones as well as birth or they are laying eggs, and by that way they are giving the new generations are coming. Okay, they are giving birth to the new generations. There are two type of basic modes of the reproduction: asexual mode and the sexual mode. Bisexual means or asexual means the organisms show the reproduction process. So that are of two type. In the asexual reproduction, there is a need of only one parent, means one parent is sufficient for the reproduction process. One parent, after the maturity of the cells of the one parent, there is the birth or they lead to the new generation. Okay, like in the plants also, the plants, if we talk about the lemon or the rose plants, if we cut their stem and we will plant their stem in the other soil or on the other place, then definitely we will get the another plant. So that is asexual way. Asexually we are getting a new plant from the previous plant. So that is asexual, means only one parent is needed for that. Next one is the sexual way. Sexual way, in the sexual way both parents are needed for the reproduction process. Male as well as a female, both are important and they are playing their role for the reproduction process. The male is contributing their sperm, and afterward the female's ovum, and fusion takes place of the ova with the sperm, and after fusion the zygote formed there, and from the zygote is converted into the fetus or embryo, or from there the new baby birth takes place. So by that way the new generation comes, or the reproduction takes place in the by the sexual means. Now we are going to discuss firstly about the asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction, as I told you, only one parent is sufficient or one parent is needed for the asexual reproduction. There are the number of ways or number of modes for the asexual reproduction. First is known as binary fission. First is binary fission. Now what do you mean by binary fission? Binary fission, you have heard about this term in the chemistry too, or when we have discussed about the classification of living organisms in that chapter 2. Fission means breakdown. So binary fission takes place when the breakdown of one cell takes place and there is a generation of a new cell. I will give you one example. Suppose that this is a cell. Okay, in a cell there are the three main parts of the cell membrane, afterwards cytoplasm, the fluid that is present in the cell, and the third one is the nucleus. So this is cell, three main parts are there: nucleus part, cytoplasm, and the cell membrane, basic parts of the cell. What is happening when the binary fission takes place? Firstly, this nucleus part divides into two number. Okay, it shows the division, and nucleus is converted into two number. Afterward this cytoplasm also will starts extending from the position, and at the last the cell membrane breaks down, and the cell will give a single cell gives the formation of the two new cells, new daughter cells. So by that way the binary fission takes place. The one cell breaks down into the two number, that is known as a binary fission. This takes place in the amoeba, in the paramecium also, means single celled organisms show their reproduction by this way. So this is known as a binary fission. Next one is known as the budding process. Budding process, now what do you mean by budding process? The buds and the spores are formed on the plants. You had seen that on the few plants also the buds appeared. Okay, buds means that plants are showing some regenerative parts. Regenerative parts, like suppose that this is a cell. Okay, after maturity of the cell, the new stems will start appearing or start growing from this cell or from this cell stem. Afterward what is happening? We are able to separate this newly formed stem on this one plant, and when we will separate this one or we will place it in the soil, it will also form or give the birth of a new plant. So that is known as a budding process. The buds are appeared on the plant. That buds you are able to separate it, and when you will place it in the soil, they will give the formation of the new plant. So that is the budding process. Next one is known as fragmentation. Fragmentation. Now what do you mean by fragmentation process? In this one, the new organisms formed from the pieces of the parent's body. From any piece of the parent body, they are able to show the reproduction process. So that is known as a fragmentation. Okay. Fragmentation we are seeing in the fungi. Few fungi, even the flatworms also, you had seen that from any part of the parent's body there is a formation of a new organism. So by that way they are asexually reproduce the new young ones. Next one, regeneration. Regeneration is a modified form of a fragmentation. Here you can see the live example. You may have seen the lizards. Lizards, when they are under danger or when they are feeling any kind of danger, they are leaving their tail. Okay, and after few days automatically their tails are coming. Okay, that is known as a regeneration. Means the cut part is automatically generated after few time. That is known as a regeneration, and this reproduction, this generation takes place asexually. There is no sexual means in this reproduction also. So that is known as a regeneration. Next one, spore formation. Spores, you may have seen that when the wheat season starts, then in the sky also the white colored spores are flying here and there, that white colored, they are having the feathers also, feather like appearance. This is like a spore formation is there, and they are having number of finger-like projections around them, and they are flying in the sky. That are known as spores. That spores are giving rise to the another new plant. They act as a seeds, and from these seeds we are getting the new plants. So that is known as spore formation. Next, vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation, we are not spores. In few plants they are not producing their seeds, and they are sometimes their seeds are failed to germinate. Then such reproduction takes place in the non-seed producing organism plants, but the vegetative parts do not take part in the sexual reproduction. Hence it is called the vegetative propagation. Means their seeds are not there, the plants are not bearing the seeds. So in that plants, by the vegetative propagation, they are showing the reproduction process, and they are giving rise to the new plant. That is known as a vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation are all of other types. They are having the types. First is by underground stems. Underground stems, I will give you the example. You had seen that few organisms, few vegetables also we are getting underground. Okay, I have example of the potato. This is a potato, and you know that this is an underground plant. We are getting it under soil, and on the potato you are able to see this part of the potato. This is known as the shoot of the potato. Why so? When you will bury it under the soil, it will give rise to the shoot, and here on the potato the eyes are present. So eyes are also present, they will give rise to the roots, and here from the shoot will grow, and by that way we will get the another plant and another potatoes too. Like that way on the onion too, and on the ginger too, the bud, scale and the other things are present. I will show you the example of onion too. Onion, this part of the onion is known as the stem, and here the middle one are known as the buds, and these parts of the onion are known as the scales. Like that way on the, if we talk about the ginger, on the ginger too, this part of the ginger is known as the bud. These are known as the nodes on the ginger, and these are the scale of the ginger. So by that way they are showing the reproduction. Means from these plants, when we will bury it under the soil, they will give the new plant and new ginger, onion, and that potatoes we are getting. So these are the submerged plants. Next, subaerial stems. Subaerial stems means they are growing under the from the base of the stem and regrows horizontally. From here where they are growing from the base of the stems, and they are showing the reproduction. They are regrowing, and by that way they are showing the reproduction process. Bi-leaf buds, you may have seen that on the plants, some plants, on the leaf of the plants, new plants are growing, showing their growth. So that is known as the leaf buds. From that leaf you are able to get the buds of the other leaf, and when you are able to separate that buds, you will get the new plant. So these are the few types of the vegetative propagation. Here we are going to discuss about the advantages of the vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation is responsible for the continuation of the plant species, means from one species of a plant we are able to get the same kind of species from that. So that is responsible for the continuation of the plant species. Next one, a plant capable of the mode of reproduction can survive unfavorable conditions too. The plants that we are getting from vegetative propagation are able to survive under unfavorable conditions too, because their capacity to bear the temperature, to bear the unfavorable conditions will be more. Next one, such plants attain maturity earlier than those produced from the seeds. They are becoming mature early because we got that plants by vegetative propagation, and few features of these plants are more good as or advanced as compared to the seed plants. Next one, as the features and the qualities of the offsprings are identical to the parents, because we are getting the same plants from by vegetative propagation, so they will have the same qualities as their parent plant will have. Suppose that the parent plant will have the white colored flowers, then definitely that flower we have got by vegetative propagation, they will also get the white colored flowers. So same or identical features they will show like their parents. Next one, disadvantages of this process. Now what are the disadvantages? Vegetative propagation result in the production of offspring that have same genetic or hereditary characters as a parents. That I told you, if the parent plant having a white colored flowers, then definitely the daughter plant will also have the same colored flowers, white colored flower. There will be no variation in that, same species will be there. That means there will be lack of variety in this vegetative propagation. We can't get a variety of number of flowers or other features in a plant. So that is a disadvantages of this vegetative propagation. Next one, vegetative propagation allow a plant to produce a large number of offspring in a short time, but these are not disappeared far and usually grow near to the parent plant. Means the plants are growing easily as well as early as compared to the other plants. That is a kind of a disadvantage too, because sometimes there is no need of that much plants for us and they are growing early, so that's why that is a kind of disadvantage for us. If we are getting a thing that we don't need, means more than our need, then also that is wrong for us. Because I give you one example. Suppose that you want to eat only one chapati. There is a capacity in your stomach only of one chapati, but due to any reason you ate 2 chapatis, then definitely that will be a problem for you. You will get obesity and you will not able to digest it. So the more the number will also be a sometimes difficulty for us. So that is a disadvantage of the vegetative propagation too. Next we are going to discuss about the artificial vegetative propagation. There are different number of artificial vegetative propagation too. We are able to artificial vegetative means we are the plants are growing in the plants where the seeds are not appearing. So by artificial means we are able to insert the bud, we are able to even cut the stem or join the stem with the other plant. So by that way we will able to get the variety in the plant. So that is known as the artificial vegetative propagation. So there are the methods of the artificial vegetative propagation. First is layering, cutting, grafting and tissue culture. We will discuss it one by one. First we are going to discuss about the cutting process. Cutting process is very common in the rose plant. You may have seen in your home too. So first is cutting process. Cutting. How the cutting takes place? In the cutting, we are cutting the stem of a plant and afterward we are keeping that stem, cutting stem in under soil, and we are getting the new plant, that is known as a cutting process. I'll give you the example. Suppose that this is the stem, okay, of a plant, but we are taking the stem of a plant that is already on the stem where the buds are appeared, that means that will show the reproduction or that will show the growth easily, okay. That stem we cut, okay. Afterward we are keeping or planting this cut stem in the moist soil, so that this stem will get the enough moist in as well as the atmosphere, temperature, water, and other necessary things for the growth. So by that way cutting takes place. We cut the stem of a rose and we keep it in the moist soil, and afterward we are getting the new rose plant from it easily. So that is known as a cutting process. Next one is the layering process or layering method. Now what do you mean by layering method? I'll show you one plant. This is the stem of a lemon, okay. This plant or any plant, when what we are doing in the layering process, we are not removing the stem of the plant, but we are only we are submerging this stem or any stem of the plant, regrowing stem of the plant under the soil, but we are not separating it from the tree, okay. And when we submerge it in the soil, then automatically after few days, when this stem will get the moist soil as well as the water, other favorable conditions, then the roots are appearing on it, and automatically it will be separate from the plant and it will give the new plant, birth of a new plant. So that process is known as the layering process. Hope you understood. Again I am going to show you in the layering process what we are doing. Suppose that this is your plant, this is the stems of the plant and this is the roots. What we are doing, we will not separate it or we will not cut this stem, we will only tilt it and we will submerge this stem under soil, okay. Afterward what is happening, under favorable conditions, after few days the roots starts appearing here and it will give the birth to the new plant, and automatically it will be cut from here. So that process is known as a layering process. Next is known as a grafting process. Now what do you mean by grafting? Grafting means we are taking the bud of a plant, okay, and what we are doing, we are inserting that bud in the other plant and we are applying bandage over there. I'll show you one thing. Here I don't have the bud, but I will show you. I have applied one bandage over here, okay. We cut only the outer part of the plant, okay, outer bark. Afterward we are embedding that bud inside it and we will apply some bandage. That should be a rope, that will be any kind of tape too, so that they will be merged with each other. After few days you will see that that bud will be merged with this plant, and this plant will give the give a variety of the flowers as well as some kind of variations will be there in the genes. So by that way we are getting the new plants also. So that process is known as a grafting process. In the grafting process we are using two parts of the plant, sign and stalk. Now what do you mean by sign and stalk? Sign is known as the upper part. Upper part, suppose that we have taken the stem of this plant, we cut the stem and this stem we are going to merge with the other plant. So this part of the this stem of the plant is known as a sign, and stalk is the lower part of the plant that is having the roots and that is already under the soil. So lower part of the plant is known as a stalk, and the upper one part that we are going to attach with it is known as a sign. Next one is the tissue culture. Now what do you mean by tissue culture? Tissue culture is a process by which we are giving or we are preparing new plants in the laboratory. How we are preparing? You know that there is the capacity of the other parts of the plants also to show the reproduction, like a leaf as well as roots, shoots, bud and the other pieces also. Even a single cell of a plant also we are able to get the new plant. Then we are taking that plant or tissue of a plant, we are taking one tissue of a plant, and that tissue is known as explant in the tissue culture. Afterward, we are keeping that explant in the hormones, plant hormones. We are already preparing the plant hormones, auxin and cytokinin. Cytokinin is responsible for the promotion of the shoot of a plant, and auxin is responsible for the promotion of a root. So we are giving the two plant hormones to that explant, to the plant. Okay, means that explant we are taking, and afterward we are keeping it under that plant hormones. Afterward, what is happening, after few days you will see that the roots will appear and the plant will show that length, shoot will appear there. Afterward, that undifferentiated part will appear there. Undifferentiated means the roots, the shoot will appear, okay, in that plant. That is known as the callus part. Undifferentiated part of the cells, number of cells will be formed there from one explant. So that is known as a callus part, and from that callus part we will separate that callus part, and we will able to get the new plants from that single tissue of a plant. So by that way we are able to get the variety of a plant from a single tissue of a plant. So that is known as the tissue culture. So this is all about the reproduction by the asexual means. We have discussed about the various methods or ways how we are able to grow the plant by asexually. So this is all about the topic. Hope you understood. Now you have to do one thing. You have to write the whole methods of the asexual reproduction, and as well as you have to give the examples of each type, how or which plant or which organism show the reproduction by that way. So this is your home assignment. Hope you understood. Thank you very much.